welcome to Hawk Talk. I'm Seth Morkirky.
And I'm Susanna Moberg.
And we've had a busy week with sports around campus, but one sport that's kind of just getting going, has an event this weekend, is rodeo. And we have with us one of your stars. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from and what you do.
I'm Alicia Dworshak. I'm from Dickinson, North Dakota, and I compete in barrel racing and goat tying.
Yeah, a local girl, you've been doing that for quite a while. When did you start doing both of those events?
I started barrel racing in 3rd grade, and I believe goat tying in like 4th or 5th.
Wow,
So,
a young age.
time.
Yeah, that's awesome. For barrel racing, I know you've been very competitive in that, but I hear you've been very competitive in goat tying as well. Talk about maybe what it takes to be a goat tyer and a barrel racer at the same time.
Okay, so mainly like any other sport, a lot of practice, and then obviously we need livestock for the goat tying. So your horses learn a lot over time, so a lot of the time we just ground tie to get ourselves like muscle memory and everything, and our horse is good, so maybe we practice like once or twice a week with our horse and then ground tie like every night, just working on getting faster and better.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, much like any sport, like you mentioned. You have 6 rodeos this fall. All of them are away from Dickinson. One of them is in North Dakota at least, but you're going all the way to Wisconsin, all the way to Nebraska, I think South Dakota as well. And I think that's kind of the trend with rodeo. That's kind of what you guys have had to do in the past. Talk about the travel, what it takes to travel well, how you guys travel. I know you have to take your own trailers, your own horses, and things like that.
Exactly. So it's much different than other sports like that. It's not just us. We have our horses with us. They're our teammates, so we have to take very good care of them. And then just the travel is much longer. You can't just drive all the way there. Like the long hauls like Iowa, we have to stop and walk the horses halfway there just to make sure they don't tie up or anything like that. So it definitely requires a lot of extra work.
Yeah, a lot of extra work, a lot of that tying. Is there any team bonding that goes on along those road trips?
Yeah, for sure. You get to know your traveling partners very well. You're spending a lot of time in the truck and trailer with them, so you become best friends. I even consider some of the people on my rodeo team family.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know we talked a little bit about earlier before we started. You've got kind of a young team this year. How does that, going out, being kind of a younger team, how does that set the environment for the rodeos you go to?
Just like our junior and senior members, we have to be like more leaders and let them know what to expect, because college rodeo is a lot different than high school rodeo. In high school rodeo, you're always with your family, your parents are there helping you. When you get to college, you don't really have that. Like a lot of times we see coach maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, and it's not like he's always there. So I guess you have to take a lot more responsibility individually and then just set yourself up mentally to be ready to compete at that next level.
Yeah. What is one of your individual goals, or maybe name a couple individual goals as you head into your senior season? You know, you have the rodeos this fall and in the spring. A lot of things can happen, a lot of things you can do. What is probably one of your main goals?
I would say my first goal is to just be consistent, keep making those short goes and just keep setting my personal records. And then the ultimate goal is obviously making the CNFR.
Yeah, that's right. And any team goals you guys have that you're setting right now? I know you.
Team goals. So we're the Blue Hawk team, but then we have our women's team and the men's team. So we always just want to be like first in those 2 categories.
Yeah. Is there, when practice goes, is there a lot of coexisting amongst the men and women? Are you guys kind of helping each other out, or is it kind of separate?
So it really depends on the event. Like goat tying, only ladies can compete in that, so it's just the ladies. But then you have breakaway and tie down roping practice together, so that would be both men and women. And then team roping also is both men and women. Barrel racing is just ladies. So, yep.
That's great. Well, maybe talk about your future plans. I know you're graduating this spring, and you're taking a lot of credits this fall. It's a busy year for your seniors, for us seniors, I should say.
Yeah.
So as you're looking off into the future, are there any more plans with rodeo, personally competing?
So I don't think there'll ever be a day that I don't rodeo. I love rodeo. But after I graduate from DSU, I'm planning on attending law school. So while I'm in law school, you do get 1 more year eligibility, but I don't believe I'll take it just because I'm really going to need to be focused during that time. But I'll still come home and rodeo during the summers, and then after law school, hopefully pro rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, the rodeo team is heading off to Wisconsin. Best of luck to you guys this weekend. It'll be a busy weekend, but we know we're going to have some great results. So thanks for coming on.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We'll be back with a football player right after this.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
Well, we're back with another Blue Feather Focus, bringing in athletes from all across the nation, one who's a little close to home. Go ahead and introduce yourself, what position you are, and where you're from.
I'm Jordan Walker. I'm from Baker, Montana, and I'm a tight end on the football team.
A big win over Jamestown. Talk about what went on during that game and some of the things that you saw.
Yeah, it was a great win. It was great to come out in front of our home crowd. Jamestown's always been a big rival of Dickinson's, so it was great to get that first game out of the way with the big win. We had a lot of big plays, I think, that kind of helped for the stretch down the road.
Yeah.
Our defense played well, I thought. I think as an overall, we came together pretty well as a unit and were able to get a lot of things done.
Yeah. We had two NSA North Star Athletic Players of the Week. We had Hayden Gibson, had 4 touchdowns, I think. Danny Marino had 10 total tackles, 8 solo. What was it like to be on the sideline watching the defense perform that well?
It's always great, when we're on offense, you want to get the ball back as much as you can. You want to have the ball for as long as you can every game, and I think our defense played tremendous that game.
Yeah.
I think you see kind of those guys in fall camp doing their thing and they're performing well, and then it's another thing to see them go out on the field against someone else, against their own opponents, against the different schemes, different offenses, and to see them showcase that talent out there, and I think they did really well, and
Yeah.
I think that's something they'll continue to do all throughout the year.
Yeah, I agree, and the offense played well as well. Looking, at the beginning of the season, we were ranked 13th in the nation, still are, and you've been a part of, as well as I have been a part of, 3 consecutive conference championships, 3 consecutive playoff appearances. It's been a winning program for the times that we've been here. What does it take to keep that winning tradition going through, bringing it on the younger guys, putting pressure on them, and lifting them up?
It's really a culture thing. I mean, once you get the taste of winning, it's hard to get out of your mouth. You want to keep winning, and it takes a lot of time in the off season. I think the games aren't won on Saturday afternoons. They're won on Monday through Friday at practice. They're won during the summer. They're won through winter workouts and conditioning and being prepared leading up to that game day. So it takes just a lot of that extra time that you are willing to put in yourself as a team off the field and kind of in the off season to really come together and work hard.
Yeah, that's right. You were a senior, or you were a quarterback in high school. Your senior year, you played quarterback, and then you came to college, decided to make the transition to tight end, never played it really. What was that transition like, and looking back on the past 4 years, how is that, or 5 years now, how has that been?
It's been a good transition. I definitely wasn't cut out, I don't think, to play quarterback in college. But playing quarterback in high school, I guess it kind of made it easier because I know what to kind of look for when you're looking at defenses and kind of how things are supposed to go. Tight end, I think, has definitely been a bit of a transition. I've had to get a little bigger, a little stronger, but I've gotten used to it. It's been a really good transition for me, I think.
Yeah, you've played a strong role, a vital role on our team as a tight end, and now as a senior, heading into the last season of our football career. What does it mean to be heading into your last season, heading into the 5th season as a Blue Hawk, and probably our last season of football ever?
You just want to go out strong. We've won 3 conference championships, like you said. Obviously, that's our goal to shoot for 4, but I think just kind of leave your legacy as how younger guys view you as a player or as a leader on the team. You want to make sure that hard work stays instilled in the team, and kind of our legacy going out as seniors, that we want that to continue throughout, even when we're gone.
Yeah. Had a big win this past weekend, like we talked about, 51-0 over Jamestown. Heading in to an away series here, we're playing Rocky this weekend. Talk about what it's like to travel. We have this game and then another away game. What is it like to travel so far? I mean, this one's not so far, but what is it like to travel, and how important is it to travel well?
Yeah, you have to travel well. You have to treat every game as a home game. You can't let yourself get out of routine. You can't let things get flushed a little bit just because you're not playing on your home turf. You have to kind of treat it as a home game, and I think really lock down on the mental side of things. Make sure you know what you're doing, what's going on. You can't kind of get scattered just because you're on an away trip.
Yeah.
And not only against this game, Rocky, but other games you travel for, what are the keys to victory you guys think of as you're going out to these games?
Keys to victory, I think, is just kind of make sure we play our own game. We
Yeah.
can't let what the other team does dictate or how things are going dictate what we do. We have to stay honed into what we do as a team best and what makes us successful at home or on the road. I think just staying true to what we know how to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're heading into obviously we talked about your 5th year of being a Blue Hawk. Your brother played here. What is it like, or what does it mean to be a Blue Hawk for you?
It means everything. I mean, Blue Hawk's a big family. I think
Yeah.
all throughout campus, I think we're not individualized into what we are. I think we're all Hawks at heart, and you can see in the community and throughout Dickinson that everyone who's connected plays a huge role. We're all rooting for each other in everything we do, no matter if it's on the football field, on the volleyball court, basketball court,
Right.
no matter what's going on, we're all kind of rooting for each other. So I think being a Blue Hawk is being really part of a big family.
Yeah, that's what's so special about DSU, I think, and that's what I like the most. Again, football will be on the road. We're playing Rocky. I think we'll have quite a few fans there, quite a big family there. Jordan, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck this weekend.
Good luck.
And we'll be back with a focus on a coach right after this. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have a focus on a coach now, so go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do at DSU.
All right, my name is Shane Whitcup. I'm the head cross country and track and field coach here at DSU. Originally from North Glendive, but DSU native. I consider myself. 2002. I ended up here for the first time. So
Yeah, kind of a local guy around here. And now that you're in the cross country, this is your 2nd season as the coach. Tell us what you've been seeing these past 3 weeks as you're heading into your first meet.
all right. Well, cross country is any distance event that you're going to be running. You can't hide from the work. So it's one of those things that if you show up and you haven't done the work over the summer, that's apparent on the first day. But for the most part, our kids have done really well here the first couple of weeks. So there's a feeling out process. I have to know, there's so much details in putting a workout together for, running in general, how long rest intervals are going to be, how far we're going to run, how fast we're going to run. So the first couple of weeks is just kind of feeling things out. You don't want to put a kid on the track or, on the course right away and just have them go as fast as they can go before they're ready. So a little bit of a feeling out process. We did a couple of tests to get ourselves ready so that we can dial our workouts in. So now things are kind of exactly where they want to be. So everybody's, for the most part, kind of an individual program. And we're just approaching kind of race pace now. So
That's great. Well, you have a wide variety of experience, a few freshmen, few seniors, not a whole lot, but then sophomores and juniors are mixed in there. Some who have had experience. They've had experience in the past with those conference championships. What does that say, and how do you kind of mix all that together?
So the men's and the women's team is a little bit different story. So last year on the women's side, we only had one junior, no seniors. Everyone else is a freshman and sophomore. And we had a really solid team. So we had a lot of underclassmen that are coming back this year with more experience. They know exactly what to expect as far as the season goes. They also know what's coming after the season because we'll have an indoor and outdoor track season as well. So perspective there. On the women's side, we did bring in one freshman from Glendive, Montana, who's, she's a fabulous young lady. Emily Keene is her name. So she was, I believe, the 4th place finisher in Class A Montana cross country, and she was actually a 2nd place finisher in the 800 meters in the spring. So she's got a lot of range, and she loves to run, which is awesome, and she's fitting right in with the girls. I have high hopes for her this year because she's in a different environment. She's running upper middle of the pack now. In high school, she was running with the guys. She was so much better than everybody else on her squad in high school, which is typical. But now it's a completely different training environment. On the men's side, we graduated we graduated 3 men. Our number 1 runner, Chris Moreno, which was, I mean, it's hard to replace your number 1 runner ever, but we do have a pretty good second runner, so we're going to be fine there. And then Daniel Aguirre, who ran 3rd for us last year, so that's a little, but we had the 5 of our top 7 returners, so that's going to be good. Now, the men, they jump from running 5K in high school to running 8K in college, which is not as big of a jump as the NCAA jumping to 10K, which is double the distance, but that's a transition. So our newcomers, Timer Goss from Sheridan, and Nestor Vasquez from Bakersfield College, he was running the 4 mile. Now he's jumped up. You know, he's got to run just a shade under 5 miles. But there's a little bit more of a transition there, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, and you know, you have that experience. You have the experience of winning the past 3 conference championships, both the men and the women, and they're both projected to win this next one. So obviously you mentioned the love of running. You gotta love running to do cross country. What else does it take to keep that mindset, that pressure on to win another conference championship?
You know, there's a couple things. One, you start in August, and you know, all your money's made in November. So if you start out and you look like $1 million the first week of practice, that's great, but November's a long ways away, so you can't peak forever. Right? So you kind of got to go through your phases of training. So you've got time to do that. I mean, that's important. That's my job. All right, here you are. I need to get you in position to be competitive at the conference championship. And you know, from my perspective, is one of our strengths is, you know, about 72 hours before the conference cross-country meet, our guys are dialed in. They really are dialed in, and they run for each other, which is awesome. And you know, one of our strengths is 3-4-5 last year. They ran just fabulous for us. They were what won us the conference title last year. It wasn't our 1 and 2 runners. It was, you know, 3, 4, and 5. So, you know, we've got that going for us again as well. Being healthy, same thing, right? So it's a long season. You don't want to peak and start the descent. You also don't want to get injured. So, I mean, those are a couple things that, you know, I'm thinking about as we go into the season.
Just a few things. So you're now the head track coach as well. How do you maintain that balance between everything you're doing?
So I had to make a rule: no one's allowed to text me after 8 o'clock at night. So
that's good.
That's on Hawk Talk now, so that's official. But you know, 60 plus kids. You know, the first couple of weeks of school, it's crazy. We've got kids from Salem, Oregon to, you know, Michigan. So everybody presents a unique set of circumstances, and they're always a unique challenge getting through that first, you know, to drop ad date and helping them with financial aid and getting them to the dorms. Had to pick a kid up off the bus at about 2:45 in the morning. Shout out to Ethan Gosticky for checking him into the dorms at 3 o'clock in the morning. But, you know, it's a lot. And, you know, part of it is that, you know, my challenge is to put Blue Hawk teammates in positions to help kids out, to be mentors. You know, and I got a lot of respect with the football team, with kind of their leadership council, and that's something that I'm going to look to institute, because we do have upperclassmen that have been here for a while and kind of gone through these processes, as well. So taking advantage of that and kind of leveraging that is going to be my challenge here.
Well, that's great. We're heading into our centennial year. You know, it's always been talked about. It's a big time. And you mentioned you were here in 2002. So tell us, what is it like, sort of some of the similarities, some of the differences that have happened since you were here, and what are the things that you like about it right now?
Well, you know, similarities, there's a lot of kids that are running around here that are exactly like I was when I was 18 years old, right? So, you know, as far as, you know, the demographics of the university and stuff, like we still have, you know, a multicultural influence here as well, which is awesome. We have a lot of local kids as well. We're giving them opportunities that they might not have unless they came to a university. The town is about twice the size as it was when I was in school, right? So our enrollment's just down a little bit, but the town literally has doubled in size since 2002. So there is more, you know, opportunities here for students. Campus itself is, I mean, it's it's awesome to see things evolve kind of the way they have. Obviously Coach Stanton's in a little bit different role now than he was when I was a freshman in college. He was a second-year head coach here, and now he's the athletic director. Dr. Lee Vickers was our president. We've had several iterations at that position since then, but there's I think it was the first or the second year we had the TR program for TR scholars here when I was a freshman. So there's a lot of exciting things that are continuing, but there's been a lot of evolution. People that are important to me are now serving different functions at the university. So, but it's still Blue Hawk tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still lots. It's still fun to go to football games and watch you guys take on whoever it is, Jamestown, Valley City. But I mean, some things have changed. Some things are exactly the same, but the tradition and pride is still probably what gets me the most excited.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Coach, thank you for coming on. Always great to have you. Always great to have your thoughts. We'll be back kind of recapping this past weekend and looking ahead to the next. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're just going to recap some of the events that happened this past weekend and then look forward to this next weekend.
Yeah. So I know volleyball was gone this past weekend. They won one of 4 games, and we saw some really great plays. They're really looking up. And they have a game on Friday against Jamestown, so they have a good season ahead of them, I think.
Yeah, Jamestown's going to be a tough one.
Yep.
They are receiving votes, so they might be 25th right now. Have always been a solid team, but it'll be a good challenge for us, and I'm looking forward to the results of that. Obviously, we talked about Jamestown and football. Football team beat them 51-0. Really great game. And football is now heading to Rocky this Saturday. They're playing at 1 o'clock. And that will be a matchup of Dickinson is 13, Rocky is 20, and so it's going to be a nationally ranked game, which will be great.
Yeah, and golf is also traveling this weekend, so they'll be in Billings on Monday and Tuesday. Looking forward to hearing the results of how they do those days.
Yeah, the fall season of golf is an interesting one. I've always noticed golf is in the spring, but here it's in the fall, and so seeing those guys go out and perform even through the rain and the snow sometimes,
and the wind,
and so we're excited for those results. It'll be see how they do, kind of improve from the last one. And then looking at rodeo, as we talked about, is going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We'll see how that is. Obviously, a long travel. I know those guys are used to traveling, and I know they'll be great. And then as we talked to Coach, they're heading to Moorhead for the Twilight Classic, I think, Twilight Time Trial or something like that. He said they're running at 8:10 and 8:30, and so they'll be running late at night.
Long day for them.
But I think it'll be a good showing. This will be their first competitive one against other teams. And so, if you want to check out any of those results, you can always look on dsubluehawks.com for anything. Check out the links for live games, volleyball and football. Until next week, though, Hawks are up.